Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Social Media for E-Commerce, Simple Ways to Build and Engage Your Audience. Part of our mission here at Volusion is connecting people and commerce. We feel that should be part of our customers' mission as well, and social media is a powerful means for accomplishing that. So we're glad to see the good turnout for today's webinar. I'd like to take just a moment to introduce you to your host for today's webinar. My name is Jason Ferguson, and I'm Volusion's Communications Specialist. I'm joined today by Cindy Day and Bethany Smith, who are among our company's top social media and SEO specialists.
Hello.
Bethany will be keeping an eye on Facebook and Twitter for questions and will join Cindy and I for the Q&A session at the end. We also want to give a special thank you to our design team specialist, Joey Bacon, who helped put together the graphics for today's webinar. Today, we will be going over all of the major social media platforms to help you find the best ones for your business to use. We'll discuss each platform's reach, characteristics, and aspects of its marketing share, talk about why each platform matters for e-commerce, and go over best practices for approaching your audience, as well as some of the common pitfalls that can cost you followers, likes, and business. Once we've helped you find the right platforms and the best ways to approach them, we'll move on to helping you craft your social media strategy. We'll talk about using your audience's needs and your competitors' tactics as springboards for creating what we refer to as social capital. Social capital basically consists of the goodwill, trust, and thought leadership that you can garner through quality social media engagement. Then we'll help you draft your social media summer calendar, so you have a definitive plan in place for growing your audience.
And as a special thank you, we also have some exclusive promotions for webinar attendees who are considering the professional guidance that people like Bethany and I offer.
Right. And finally, we'll move into the Q&A. We've seen some really great questions come through Facebook and Twitter in preparation for this webinar, but it's not too late to get involved. Just contact us with your question and your domain name on Facebook or Twitter using @Volusion or hashtag #sell4timesmore. You can also send us your questions through GoToMeeting itself.
However, if you get your question using Facebook or Twitter, you will automatically qualify to win a free social media audit, which we will be giving away during the Q&A at the end.
All right, moving on.
So there's never a bad time to begin working on or to improve on your social media marketing strategy. However, we chose this beautiful time of year for a few reasons. First, like anything else worthwhile, a strong social media following takes time and patience to build. And much like SEO, social media builds on previous efforts. So whether your following grows slowly this month or is an instant success, your online community is something you're going to want to work hard to keep around, keep interested, and engaged. Second, as you all probably know, summertime means students are on break from college, and this break frees up young, intelligent, and ambitious people looking for seasonal work.
Right, and if you don't already have an intern or two, now is the perfect time to decide whether that's something worth considering.
Definitely. And a little later in this webinar, we will talk about the importance of having a dedicated person who is responsible for managing your online social channels. So whether that means hiring someone to work with your business directly or outsourcing to an agency, now is the time to work that out. Another reason why summer is a great time to build your social media following is because of the increase in mobile usage. The sun is out, the weather is gorgeous, nobody wants to be inside. So whether it be on a tablet or cell phone while people are tanning by the pool or enjoying the beach, mobile usage spikes during the summer months. Your social channels are the best avenues for engaging these people while they are on the go. And lastly, by starting now, you have a few months to grow a dedicated online community that can be used for targeted marketing messages about your products during those golden, busy shopping months, such as back to school and the holiday season. It's always better to plan these things far in advance. And in marketing terms, the months of November and December are right around the corner. Don't make the mistake of ignoring your potential social following now. It could mean leaving money on the table later. As Jason mentioned earlier, today we will go over 8 major social media platforms that many e-commerce businesses are using for marketing and seeing great success. We will talk about using Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vine, Pinterest, Google+, LinkedIn, and Polyvore. and we will give you the top do's and don'ts for each. Each social platform has its own unique community, market strengths, and business use potential. We will walk you through all of that as well. And before we get started, just remember, you definitely do not want to tackle every single one of these platforms at the same time. It's best to choose one primary network and then two secondary networks that you dive into really deep and work to master.
And of course, experimenting with other platforms is great. Just don't let it distract you from your primary marketing goals and objectives.
Great point. And as entrepreneurs, you only have so many resources and so much time. You want to make sure you're being strategic about it. So here we go. Since Facebook is the most well-known social platform, we're going to start here. Many people, like us presenting and most of you listening in today, already use and are very familiar with Facebook for personal use to connect with friends and family. But today, we're going to focus on using Facebook for business. So if you're wondering why Facebook is important to your e-commerce business, take a look at these stats. First and foremost, nearly everyone uses it. With 1.31 billion active users, Facebook is a place where people from all over the country and world hang out, engage in conversations, learn new things, explore new ideas, and check out different brands on a regular basis. Second, like I mentioned a few slides ago, the importance of mobile traffic continues to increase, and Facebook currently attracts nearly 7 million of these users. On top of that, mobile users continue to grow by 22% a year and are sharing a million links every 10 minutes. But the most important stat to note for your business is this. Roughly 26% of social referral traffic to external websites like your e-commerce store comes from Facebook, meaning this social platform is one of the biggest and best channels to use for referral traffic to your store. Also, Facebook's advertising platform is one of the most powerful tools for making sure your brand gets a chance to compete against big businesses and seen by the eyes of your perfect customer. With the ability to target people based on interest, geographic location, age, shopping habits, and so much more, as well as the option to retarget people who have visited your e-commerce site in the past, Facebook's ad platform offers the most robust audience targeting for online marketing purposes. So if you're looking to promote your business on Facebook, using their ads is a must. Their constant algorithm changes have made it virtually necessary to invest in ads if you really want to make an impact. And of course, spending time on Facebook can definitely be fun, but that doesn't mean that using it for business is easy.
Yeah, I'm sure many of you have seen business page after business page with followers in the single digits and just no engagement to speak of.
I know I have. And this just goes to show that creating a profile on Facebook can be fun and easy, but using it for business takes time, effort, and knowledge about what you should and should not be doing. So here we go with our list of do's for using Facebook for business. First, make sure to keep a well-groomed profile. Once a user lands on your Facebook page for the first time, the chances of them coming back is slim to none. Make the best first impression possible by treating your business page the same way you would treat a live showroom. Be sure your branding is clear by using a high-quality logo for your profile image, and consider having your cover image professionally designed to ensure it is attractive and eye-catching. Also, don't leave your descriptions blank. Use the space to your advantage to tell your brand story, list products, and don't forget to include your store's URL in the short description for easy click-through to your website. Second, make sure to post several times a week and test a variety of content to find which works best. Examples of different types of content include links to helpful articles, polls, eye-catching images, infographics, instructional videos, and ask questions in different forms such as multiple choice, true or false, this or that, etc. Also, be sure to try different times of the day as well as different days of the week to test to see which times your audience is the most engaged. Third, be sure to respond to everyone who does comment and try to keep the conversation going. Keep an eye out for loyal followers who comment frequently and reward your biggest fans for their dedication. Remember that something as simple as a public thank you can go a long way, and other small gestures such as sending a free sample of your product or a prize pack can turn a community member into a lifetime brand ambassador, helping you spread the good word about your brand. And fourth, be sure to invest in your Facebook advertising campaign.
Yeah, these ads not only drive traffic to your web store, but they also provide valuable insight into your audience's wants, their needs, and their interests.
Absolutely. And they also allow you to reach customers that you would never have been able to reach before. Don't underestimate the power of these ads. The possibilities are endless. And for our Facebook don't spam your feed with sales-focused posts. Talking about just yourself, your products, or your sales over and over again is just going to drive visitors away and put a bad taste in people's mouths about your brand. That's not something you can afford to do in today's highly competitive online market. Second, it might be tempting to ignore or delete complaints or comments you don't like or rather not deal with. Don't make this mistake. Your community will notice, think you don't care about their honest feedback, and will seek out a competitor who does. Instead, respond to complaints in a genuine and careful way. Show that you are there through the good and the bad, and take the conversation off of Facebook by publicly asking the customer to email you and then respond appropriately. Finally, don't just post links to your own website. Facebook isn't about you. It's about your community and customers. That doesn't mean you can't share peeks into your culture or post your blogs or links to your products. Just make sure to, like we said earlier, vary the content and always ask yourself this question before you post. Is this going to be seen as valuable to my community, or is this going to be seen as marketing speak? If you think it sounds more like marketing speak, then don't post it.
Facebook is the most well-known social media giant, but Twitter is a close second. Twitter is fast, has great reach, and search engines love an active Twitter community. So why does Twitter matter for e-commerce? It is by far the leading source of breaking news and viral content.
Definitely. If you have something time-sensitive to announce about your business or industry, this is the first place you should do it.
Certainly. And Twitter has a fantastic search feature as well that other platforms are trying to emulate, meaning that this breaking news isn't just there and gone. Plus, Google crawls Twitter faster than any other network. After all, it has to in order to keep up with the flock. That powerful search feature we were talking about, it gets 2.1 billion search queries per day. That's more than Bing gets, which kind of makes Twitter the second most popular search engine out there. Twitter has 645 active users tweeting over 9,000 times per second. But active users are not the only users. 40% of people on Twitter are lurkers. They rarely, if ever, tweet, but they still read and follow others. And no offense to any lurkers out there, that's a common term, and we mean it in the best way possible. And now for the Twitter do's. First, when it comes to Twitter, you need to treat the platform as a conversation, not a bullhorn. You're not just there to be heard. You have to listen and respond to what others are saying. Be more of a songbird and less of a crow. Second, when you're planning out your tweets for the week, be sure to organize them into hashtag groups. This is a great way to make sure that your tweets can be easily found by future users who can browse them based on their relevance. Third, go beyond your own profile. This is similar to what we were saying about treating Twitter as a conversation. Find other interesting people to follow and find already existing hashtags to become part of an already active conversation. Finally, by doing this, you'll help carve out a leadership niche and become the person that people go to when they have questions regarding that niche. For our Twitter don'ts, first, don't post just for the sake of posting. Yes, Twitter is fast-paced and it can be difficult to keep up, but that doesn't mean you should just use filler tweets. Plan ahead and organize your tweets so that you're not tempted to fill the silence with unnecessary squawking. Second, don't wait for your audience to come to you.
Start engaging the moment you set up your profile. Use that advanced search feature to find individuals and communities.
That's a good point. And last, don't limit yourself to one medium. Share images, share blog posts, articles, videos, and more.
Next, we will cover one of my personal favorite social networks, Instagram. As many of you probably already know, Instagram is a Facebook-owned image and video sharing mobile app. But how is Instagram important for e-commerce? Let's take a look at the stats. Just this past year, Instagram was the fastest growing social network, and so far this year, that trend shows zero signs of fading. Currently, there are 152 million active users engaging at a rate of 1.2 billion likes per day. Also, content posted on Instagram has shown to convert into sales at a much higher rate than Facebook or Twitter, and it is an easy and fun platform for businesses to interact with both desktop and mobile users. Third, Instagram represents a highly active community, with 70% of users logging in at least once a day, and 13% of all internet users are on Instagram. So when we say active, we really mean it. However, the stats on the percentage of selfies are still out. So here are your Instagram do's. First, make sure to regularly post interesting and eye-catching photos and videos that represent your brand's culture, products, principles, and related interests. Don't be afraid to get creative and try new things. Second, set up your Instagram account so when it makes sense, you can automatically post your content to other social platforms such as Facebook and Twitter, and don't hesitate to repurpose the images you use for posting to Pinterest.
Absolutely, and Instagram is great because it can successfully integrate strategies on other social networks when it's done right.
Great point. Third, kind of like Twitter, look into the best hashtags to use based on the shared interests of your target market, and then use those hashtags. This will help your business reach new people who already have the same interests as you, leading to more eyes on and engagement with your brand. But don't go overboard with the hashtags in your original photo caption. 2 or 3 is enough. Add the rest of the hashtags with a comment under the caption. Lastly, experiment with running giveaways and contests. As with any other platform, users love free stuff. And Instagram's image-based platform makes audience participation and buzz generation fun. Make sure entry is easy, though. So an example of easy would be asking your audience to upload a photo of their breakfast to Instagram using your campaign hashtag in the caption. The easier contests and giveaways are to enter, the more engagement you will see. For your Instagram don't, first, don't violate Instagram's terms of service. Be sure to read and understand them.
That goes especially if you're going to be running a contest.
Absolutely. And second, as with any platform, avoid spamming your audience with sales-heavy materials. Again, always make sure your content will be viewed as valuable. Third, don't forget that Instagram is all about being instant and about what is happening in the moment. A hashtag latogram is okay every now and then, but the majority of your content should be fresh and represent real time. Don't flood your feed with weeks or even worse, months-old content. And remember, although images are the majority of Instagram's content, you can post videos up to 15 seconds as well. Many brands, especially in the fashion industry, have had a lot of success with showcasing their products and brand using Instagram video. And if video is a medium you are interested in, consider mixing Vine into your marketing strategy as well. Vine is a mobile app owned by Twitter and allows users to create short, up to 6 seconds, looping video clips that can be easily shared on other networks. Here are quick Vine do's and don'ts. First, keep videos simple and focus on just one idea. After all, you only have a few seconds.
Yeah, and basically just make sure you can describe the key takeaway in one succinct sentence that can be used to describe the video later to viewers.
That's so important. Second, remember that sound is optional, so using it can help set your videos apart from others. And third, share your videos regularly and make sure to track and test your results to identify trends that can help you in the future. For your don't use Vine without a clear vision of your purpose. Of course, it's fun to experiment with different mediums, but you want to make sure you're testing and ensuring your videos on Vine are aligned with your overall marketing goals and objectives. Lastly, don't assume that Vine is the place to go viral. Just because many videos on this platform have seen a lot of success, getting lucky is not a marketing strategy. Yes, have fun, be creative, but do not place all of your effort and energy in the idea that a Vine video will bring fame to your brand overnight. Next, we have another one of my favorite platforms, Pinterest. Pinterest is an image-focused social platform that allows users to share everything from articles to recipes to how-tos, infographics, and so much more. But why is Pinterest important to your business? Pinterest is important because it accounts for 25% of total social media referral traffic to external websites. And more importantly, these referred visitors tend to spend twice as much as those coming from Facebook or Twitter. On top of that, 81% of people say they trust the recommendations and advice they find on Pinterest. Also, Pinterest has 70 million active users, and when referred to an e-commerce site, those users, on average, spend between $140 and $180 per order. With 80% of users being female, Pinterest is a great platform for women's jewelry, crafting, food-related items, and clothing. And despite the large e-commerce presence on Pinterest, 70% of pinned product images are shared by users rather than the merchants themselves. So here we go with your Pinterest do's. First, be sure to diversify your board to accommodate to a variety of interests related to your industry. People tend to follow single boards over an entire user, so make sure each board has its own topic of focus that is valuable to your audience. Second, use large, colorful, eye-catching photos and test to see which type of imagery works the best. Make sure you have your site verified so you can take advantage of Pinterest analytics and see which pins are performing the best, as well as identify common trends. Third, pay special attention when you are selecting each board's cover photo. Many people will click on a brand's list of boards, and an eye-catching image along with a great title is going to be what encourages further curiosity. And fourth, remember that Pinterest is somewhat of a real estate competition. So the larger your image, the more likely a user is to notice your pin over a similar pin that is much smaller. For your Pinterest don't ignore your pin's labels or descriptions. It is too easy to pin something and leave these blank, but don't make that mistake.
That's right. You'll get a lot more mileage out of your pins with carefully crafted labels and descriptions to go with them.
And second, don't limit yourself to your own brand's content. No need to link directly to your competitors, but make sure to add pins and repin content shared by other users that are relevant to your audience's many interests. And third, don't forget to add pins that communicate your company culture and personality. If you and your employees volunteer, or if you have a company softball league, or throw holiday parties, know that's okay to show off this fun side of your brand. It will help people connect with you on a more human level.
Next up, we have Google's own social media network, Google+. So why does Google+ matter for e-commerce? Well, first of all, and most obviously, it's a Google property. And as we've said in previous webinars, Google loves Google.
Officially, Google does not give its properties more weight in their search engine just because they own them. However, they develop features in Google+ that just so happen to be a great fit for optimization in their search engine.
That's a good way to look at it. So Google properties 1, non-Google properties 0. And one of those features is the authorship tag, or rel author. I'm sure you've seen search results, especially when you're looking for articles, where the author's photo shows up next to the link and description. That's normally accomplished by using Google authorship to associate the piece of writing with the author's Google+ profile. It's great for click-through rates, and it's great for SEO. Google+ also integrates with Google AdWords and Google Local, which is where all of those high-ranking Google map results for searches come from. In fact, Google has said in the past they want to fully integrate Google Local with Google+, but that plan is still in development. Google+ has over 1 billion enabled accounts with 359 million active monthly users. 20 million of those users primarily use the platform on their mobile device, and 22% of adults use Google+ at least monthly. As for our Google+ do's, first, if you're going to promote your business on Google+, it's important to form, join, and lead active communities.
As we've said before, don't just depend on others coming to you.
Right, and second, you'll want to take reasonable advantage of Google authorship. Once all those author photos and the search results started coming out, it wasn't long before people started abusing the system, and Google began cutting back. So don't just write everything you can for everyone who will accept it. Third, when you're posting links, don't just add them without comment. Add some of your own expertise, even if it's just a brief statement introducing the link. And finally, when you're out there joining new communities on Google+, browse old posts before contributing. You want to know what's already been said before you throw your hat in the ring. For our Google+ don'ts, first, just don't link and leave these communities. Joining a group just long enough to share your link to your store and then leaving without anything else, It's not going to do anything good for your marketing efforts. Second, don't use undersized images. And this is a mistake we see a lot of people make, especially in their cover photo. Finally, don't share everything with everyone. Google Plus has circles so you can share different information with different groups of people, and those exist for a reason. Next, we have another network most of you have probably used personally, and several have already explored as a way to promote their business, LinkedIn. So why does LinkedIn matter for e-commerce? Not only is it the largest online professional network, it's also the third fastest growing social network overall. It's full of unparalleled networking opportunities for promoting both yourself and your business. In one case study that we found, some e-commerce websites reported that LinkedIn generated 4 times the referral traffic of Facebook and Twitter. This network has over 300 million members, 60% of whom say they visit the site out of an interest for industry insights. And when you post it on LinkedIn, the average post will reach over 20% of your followers.
And that may not sound very high at first, but a 20% reach is actually much more than, say, Facebook, where I'm sure many of you have seen some of your posts go virtually unnoticed, unless you promote them with an ad budget.
It's true. As for our LinkedIn do's, first, when engaging your audience on LinkedIn, don't be afraid to share your ideas, even if your ideas are just questions. Second, since you're probably part of that 60% of users who visit the site for industry insights, be sure to leave constructive comments for those insights. Lastly, in both your images and your writing, you'll want to showcase your professional appearance. For our LinkedIn don'ts, first, while you're building your network, you don't want to rush. Take your time to build your network organically through sharing valuable information. Second, don't be timid about your expertise. Write about what you know and be confident in your knowledge. It doesn't matter if other people are writing about it as well. With 300 million users, there's an audience for everything. Finally, remember that this is a professional network. Don't delve too far into your non-professional life. Treat all of your LinkedIn contacts as professional contacts.
The last, but certainly not least social network that we're going to talk about is Polyvore. Polyvore is a community-powered social commerce website where members curate products into a shared product index and then use them to create image collections called sets. Products consist mostly of high-end apparel, accessories, and home furnishings. So how is Polyvore important to your business? Well, the biggest reason is its e-commerce focus. Users can quickly see the price of the product, images, reviews, and amount of social endorsements by other members. Second, when compared to the other networks we have covered, Polyvore has the highest average order value, and studies have shown that an average of 91% of brands who promote themselves on Polyvore see SEO improvements as well.
Yeah, and if you joined us for past webinars, I'm sure you remember us talking about how SEO and social media are becoming inseparable. And this is just one illustration of that point.
Also, with 20 million users and 7.5 billion product impressions per month, brands see an average of 17.8% increase in revenue and an average order value of $383. If you haven't checked out Polyvore yet, these stats alone are reason to. So here are your Polyvore do's. 1, do showcase products, both yours and others that complement but don't compete. Do this by first making sure your products are added to Polyvore, and if not, add them yourself using the handy clipper tool. Then, introduce new products when they become available. Show multiple ways to style an item, such as how to wear an outfit or what goes best with your designer rugs. Also, show how your products are part of a larger trend, and show how products can be styled or used for particular holidays and other well-known events. Second, connect with influencers on Polyvore. These are going to be users who have a lot of followers or set views who are interested in products just like yours. Don't hesitate to reach out to these people and ask them if they would be willing to create a set featuring 1 or 2 of your products. Also, be sure to feature other brands and bloggers' products on your sets and collections. And when you do, tweet out to them or tag them in a Facebook post that features this set and let them know you've included their products. And be sure to thank anyone who does the same for you and spend some time liking and commenting on other users' work as well. And third, whether you are looking to connect to an influencer or not, Share your creations on other social platforms and your blog. Take the time to look at the top sets to see what is trending, which hashtags are the most popular, and then use these as inspiration for creating your own sets. You want to make sure you are creating content that is as relevant as possible. For your Polyvore don't invest time into Polyvore without reading and fully understanding their terms of service. They are very detailed about allowed product images and user behavior. Second, don't overdo outreach. Every interaction you make on Polyvore, as well as every other network, should be genuine and provide value. At its core, Polyvore is a community of creative people with certain expectations about behavior and interaction. And third, like any other social network, don't use Polyvore to spam the community with salesy content. Polyvore is a space online where shopping is supposed to be fun and inspires people to create and discover. Don't get caught up thinking about ROI and forget what Polyvore is all about.
All right, well, now that you have a better idea of what networks will work best for your business and your needs, let's talk about some tactics for creating engaging posts and working out your social media summer calendar. Probably the best source of social capital will be a careful analysis of your customers' needs. Now, remember, we talked about social capital as being that goodwill, trust, and thought leadership that you can garner through quality social media engagement. Take some time to think about common questions that you hear from customers. Sure, you could take those to create an FAQ for your website, but get more creative. Get an infographic together that addresses those common questions and concerns.
And that may be something you have to outsource to a designer, but it's well worth it to have engaging and shareable content.
Right, and if there's one question you can't answer yourself, then you can always cite helpful articles to address those issues. Don't worry about reading tons of articles and finding clever ways to reword them. Just link to the source directly and your audience will appreciate it. You can also hold live Q&A sessions through social media posts. And of course, even though you're going to do it sparingly, you are going to be talking about your product. Just be sure to describe your product in terms of the problems that they solve. Your customer needs to imagine how this product will make their life better.
Another great source for social capital is your competition. And I'm not talking about competitive advertising that Pepsi and Coca-Cola are well known for, where you talk about how your products are better than your competitors' products. I'm talking about looking at your competitors and other brands who you inspire to be like and observe what they are doing online. Identify what's working for them and what's not working for them, and then model the behavior that does work for them in your own unique way. Basically, spend time doing some research. I promise it will be worth it. Once you're able to define what your audience is interested in, what they like to talk about, where they hang out online, and which products excite them the most, you're able to create content that is more likely to connect with them and attract new customers. Also, use your data to your advantage. Take a look at Facebook Insights, play around with their graph search, and pay attention to the other social networks analytics as well. You'll want to know which content gets the most attention, how do your people prefer to be engaged with, and demographic information as well as psychographic information.
Yeah, overall, just don't make the mistake of underestimating the power of data and the knowledge about your community that it provides.
Absolutely. And finally, pay special attention to the complaints and questions from your competitors' customers. Complaints and questions are needs. Be sure to follow Jason's advice on the previous slide and turn these needs into your own social capital.
And once you've established the networks you're going to be using and you've started brainstorming ideas for creating social capital, it's time to put together your social media summer calendar. Social media is fun, but as with every aspect of business, it's easy to be busy without being productive. The very first thing you want to do is establish some sort of dedicated staff who will be responsible for your social media campaign. You don't want to try tackling all of it yourself, only to find halfway through the summer that you've wasted a month and a half of opportunity. You need someone who is able to set aside several hours a week to work on your social media campaign.
That may mean hiring a new employee, changing the role of an existing employee, shifting your schedule so you can handle the responsibilities yourself, or outsourcing these efforts.
Right, and ideally you want to start everything on this list today, but we space things out enough to make it more manageable for an entrepreneur. However, one benefit of outsourcing your social media is that you can bump up the rest of your calendar and start all of these items on the list this month. Another thing you want to tackle immediately is establishing your goals and setting up ways to measure them. Are you mostly striving for brand recognition, more likes, more shares, more engagement, or more revenue from social media traffic?
Each of these goals can involve very different tactics, particularly when it comes to social ads. So it's important to learn how to reach these goals yourself or consult an expert that can guide you through the process.
You'll also want to start and regularly consult Google Analytics for your storefront so that you can track your social media referrals and the revenue that they're generating. Next, you should create a backlog of posts, stretching back for about 2 weeks. Yeah, you can post things on the fly when inspiration strikes, but it's important to have a backlog of prepared material so that you can keep regular posting without falling behind. You should start this well before the beginning of July. By July, you should also start your Facebook ad campaign, using it to promote your post and research your audience. This is another segment where you may want to consult with a professional. In addition to your regular posts, you'll want to start creating share-worthy content, and by that I mean blog articles, videos, infographics, etc., that you can share with your growing audience. By mid-July, you should have enough of an audience to share this with. During that time, you should build up quite a bit of personal research into your client's needs, your competitors' tactics, and your ad information. Start creating more strategic posts that incorporate this information. By mid-August, you should have enough of a following to begin running contests. And contests are a wonderful way to keep your audience engaged and happy. Because let's be honest, who doesn't enjoy free stuff? Again, the dates you see here are just to space things out and keep your project manageable. An experienced and knowledgeable consultant can help you start sooner and build a bigger audience by the holiday season. And I know we've gone over a lot of information in a very short amount of time. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, we want to give you one takeaway from this webinar. Let it be this: rock the golden rule.
Give more than you expect in return, and then give some more. Be humble and always say thank you. Online social communities are expected to be more like real life than you could ever imagine. Make sure to surprise and delight your audience way before you ever ask for a sale. I promise you, if you do these simple things, your audience will want to be your friend, maybe even your best friend, and they will help spread the word about your brand and go when they are ready to make a purchase.
All right, now moving on to our social media promotions. We have some great giveaways, promotion that's exclusive to today's webinar attendees, and great discounts for our social media management services. First, we have an exclusive SEO and social media discount for our webinar attendees. We always like to stress how much social media and SEO are becoming integrated, with search engines increasingly factoring in social media involvement when determining rankings. This discount is a perfect way to pay proper attention to both sides of the coin. Anyone with us today who purchases our social media services will receive 20% off of our advanced SEO services, which includes on-site optimization, as well as off-site optimization efforts and regular blog content. Just please keep in mind that this offer ends on June 20th. If you're interested, you can reach a salesperson at the number or the email address on the screen. We also have a great way to save on just our social media management itself. Social media management is a month-to-month service, but by paying for 3 months in advance, you can avoid paying the service's setup fee. Keep in mind that those 3 months are a great way to prepare for the holiday sales season. If you commit to 6 months, and that's just commitment, not prepaying, then we'll provide your 6 months of service for free. And if you start now, those 6 months will carry you well into December so you can have a great social media presence on 3 separate platforms, along with a managed ad campaign running at the busiest sales season of the year. And finally, we're going to be giving away 5 free social media audits. We will have one of our SEO and social media professionals review your social media presence and draw up a report that reviews your strong points, weak points, and ideas for further social media development. All you have to do to qualify is send us a message on Facebook or Twitter using hashtag #sell4timesmore or @Volution, and be sure to include your domain name. We'll be reaching out to the winners through Twitter. All right, well, we've got some great questions coming through for the webinar, and Bethany has spotted some more. So I think it's time to jump into Q&A. We're going to break for just a moment while we discuss those questions, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. And to start things off, we're going to go ahead and announce our first winner for the free social media audit. The first winner is mytennisstore.com. And we're going to have somebody reaching out to you soon so we can get that kicked off. We've got a couple more winners we're going to announce during our Q&A, but we thought we would dive right in. The first question, can you keep your private social media separated from business social media? Bethany's joined us today for the Q&A. Bethany?
That's a great question. You definitely can keep your private social media separate from your business. With networks like Facebook, you typically have to have a private account to manage a business account, so that can get a little confusing for some people. Make sure that you always double check before you post anywhere if you do have multiple accounts on different networks. You can use tools such as Hootsuite to help streamline your postings to different networks. That's a free tool, well, it's a freemium tool, so you can do a simplified version for management, and then if you grow your network and you have multiple accounts, you might have to pay a little extra for that management. I would say LinkedIn as a professional network that is a little bit more networking focused on a person-to-person basis. You may want to establish a personalized account that's more business focused, something that shows your expertise but also humanizes it and gives a face to it, even more than like a Facebook business page would.
Absolutely, and depending on your industry, it might be more beneficial for it to be yourself rather than the face of your business.
Yeah. Well, let's see. And next question, what's the proper use of hashtags? What's the number not to exceed?
Another great question, and I'm actually going to lump it in with a question we received through email, which asked, how do you find hashtags that are within your industry market? Hashtags, again, they're really common on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook also uses them to some degree. They're basically like a keyword. They help things become more visible in those different network search engines. So to find hashtags, initially I would start with like a brainstorm list. You know your business, you know your industry, so think of just like general topics that relate to your business and begin there. Go into the Twitter search and start typing those, and you might see that there's already some hashtags, or you might find an industry leader within your field who's already using hashtags. You can click on those hashtags and start borrowing that information. So that's how you would want to go about finding them. As for how many to use, I would keep it pretty small, between 1 to 3 really refined hashtags. If you need to use more, add it to a comment, expand your information. But yeah, 1 to 3, I think you can really refine and narrow. They should add to the original comment being said.
Absolutely.
Next one. Where is the best place to spend limited time and money on social media?
Another great question. First, think of where your audience is. Think about who your common buyers are. If you're a fashion store, you want to be on Pinterest. You want to be on maybe Polyvore before you would join something like Twitter. So if you only have time for one network, just think of your audience and where you're likely to find them. If you have limited money, again, one of those networks where you can get that follower count without having to buy ads is a great way to go about it. Facebook, you probably are going to want to leave aside a little bit of ad money. It's really affordable to buy ads. You can do as little as $5 a day. But the way their algorithm works, you are going to want to invest in something that either helps your profile grow or get the traffic to your website.
And it's important to remember that even though on the surface a lot of these platforms are free, but time is money. So if you're not paying for an advertising spend on Facebook, that's okay, but you're going to have to spend more time on outreach and connecting with people one-on-one in order to get a further reach and get your name out there.
That's a really good point. All right, what about this one? We have 5 locations. Should we have a business page on Facebook, Twitter, etc. for each location, or just one for the business as a whole?
Another great question. This one, I see as kind of a time management question. If you have the time and resources to effectively devote the attention to 5 different location pages on Facebook and Twitter, then go for it. There's some great enhancements where you can actually list each individual location. It's going to help in search features to have those different addresses. But if you are limited in time or you can't devote the same amount of content, different content for each location, then just have one general hub and do it well as opposed to spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah, and also, if those locations have maybe different specializations, then it might be more worth it to have the different platforms to work with as well. Right. The next one we got here, we would like to learn more about incorporating our social media into our store. And we'd also like to see if an increase in likes followers will help us turn more sales.
Another great question. Any social media decision you make, you should have goals and an objective with it. You should also be using insights and analytics to make sure that your social media decisions are having an impact. So in this case, incorporating social media into your store, first make sure that you're incorporating your social media onto your website. Make sure you have the Facebook or Twitter buttons, whatever networks you're on, somewhere on your home page, whether it's the header, the footer, or a sidebar. If you're using the Volusion Store platform, there's actually some really easy resources on the back end that you can click and optimize. So there's ways to share your products on different social networks. There's also, on the different networks themselves, there's different places to add your website URL. Start there. Make sure you're including that on the Twitter About section, and your Pinterest About. They actually ask you to verify the website. And then also, once you're from there, you have content. Make sure in your content you're sharing valuable articles from your blog or you're spotlighting new products. That's a great way to send referral traffic.
Sounds really good. And, I don't know who wants to break the bad news on this one, although I think we've done it a few times. Do I really need to pay for Facebook ads to get an audience on our page? Draw straws.
Facebook is a business. It's going to make decisions on how it runs its platform, on what will continue to allow them to function as a business. Just like you, they want to make money. So unfortunately, you are going to have to buy ads if you want your content to be visible. The good news is Facebook's ads are really affordable. As I mentioned earlier, they're as little as $5 a day. You can bid not only on impressions, but you can bid for clicks. So it actually won't charge you or show up the ad unless it's going to get someone to click to your website or click to like your page. So it is low cost. It is doable, and when you target and you do it well, use your Facebook insights to find your audience, narrow it down by demographic, age range, location, their interest. You can actually target an ad based off of buying behaviors. If someone's likely to buy a new car in the next 180 days, that's actually a thing you can do on your Facebook ads. And then ads aren't limited to Facebook. Facebook kind of requires them a little bit more than other networks. But if you're on Pinterest or Twitter, there are ways to promote your posts for a low cost if you need that extra boost, especially if you're getting the network going.
Well, I think, okay, this is one we broached a little bit, but I think this is one of the most important ones. How do you deal with positive or negative comments with social media?
Another great one. You definitely want to address all comments you receive on your social networks. You don't want to ignore your consumers. Positive comments are easier to deal with. You can retweet those if you're on Twitter. You can like them if you're on Facebook, or you can comment back to them. Negative comments can be a little bit more challenging. In an ideal world, everyone's only posting positive reviews of your store, and they recognize how awesome and great it is. But unfortunately, consumers are more likely to leave a comment if they have something negative to say, whether it was a delay in shipping or a product was out of stock. And the negative comments tend to be a little bit more vocal or loud seeming. address them, let them know that you heard their comments and you want to help. And then if it's something that takes more time or just doesn't seem like you're going to be able to change this person's attitude, try to move it into a more private channel. On Twitter, you have a direct message option. You do have to be following them, and they do have to be following you. But let them know in a very public tweet first, hey, would love to help you with this. Can you direct message us your contact information so we can talk? On Facebook, try to move it into a private message. Instagram has private messages. There's usually some way to move to a more private channel.
Yeah, the idea is to make sure that you just address everything. Don't ignore anyone. You'd be really offended if you went to a hotel and gave them your comment card and it was bad and they just ripped it up in your face. So if you just ignore things or delete them off Facebook when they're negative, it's kind of the same thing. So just make sure that you're not ignoring anybody.
Those are great tips. Well, I think we have 2 more winners that we're going to announce today for our social media audit. The next winner is littleausiebakery.com. Sorry, thelittleausiebakery.com. Again, we'll be reaching out to you guys through Twitter and get the ball rolling on that. And our 3rd winner, we've got Dalton Watson Fine Books. And we'll be talking to you guys on Twitter soon and get that started for you. Keep in mind, if you haven't won one of these audits, you still qualify for all the discounts we talked about today. Just whenever you call or email our people here, just make sure to mention that you attended the webinar so that you qualify for those. We've got 2 more winners we're going to be announcing directly through Twitter. And one moment. Oh, and yes, we also have a follow-up blog post on the 18th. We're going to cover all those questions that we didn't get to today. So if you're here, you asked a question, we will be covering it even if we didn't do it in the live Q&A. All right, guys, well, we definitely want to thank everybody for attending. This has been a really great turnout. It's encouraging on our end. We went through a lot of statistics today. Here are the links for all of them. You can't click on it right now, but when we send you the follow-up slides later, you will be able to click on those, read more, and we definitely encourage you to do so. Thank you again for attending, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.